Hello, Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Assalamu Alaikum. Today, I just wanted to talk about some things which are quite important, particularly given in light of my first discussion with you. So, they often say to us that sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. That's a lie. Words hurt, words wound, and when they're soaked in ignorance and given power, words can kill. So, we live in a country where scapegoating, xenophobia, moral panic, racial profiling, and systemic exclusion are being normalized. And we see that erasure is on the horizon. Hate doesn't start with violence, it starts with whisper. They're taking our jobs. They live in 5-star hotels. They're everywhere. They're the reasons why we didn't succeed or you didn't succeed. They're flooding the country. There's floods of them. There's so many are illegal. And I don't even care because I don't want the legal ones either. They're changing everything. Towns and cities in England are unrecognizable. There's so many of them, swarms of them. These words are then passed from adult mouths into young ears and then thrown like stones at the vulnerable. So we as a group at Blossom, we try to bring people together. And it's also important that in this understanding and feeling what's going on, we also don't forget the people who do actually suffer. So let me tell you about Mrs. A, 70-year-old Pakistani lady, walking slowly with a Zimmer frame, living her life, trying to live with all the struggles of life, on very minimal benefit. Husband passed away, son who was killed many, many years ago. And she's standing at Stratford Station in the afternoon and she's approached by school children who are laughing at her, they're joking at her. And some of them started joking about, oh, why don't we throw her in front of a train? And one of them threw a bottle and it shattered against the wall. So the bottle was for her, but fortunately it missed. And they said, go home, you pee. So this is not a story. This is not a history. This is exactly what's happening today. And it happens throughout the land of Britain. This is Stratford, East London. Recently, another woman wearing a hijab was walking home. Some teenagers ripped it from her head. They mocked her, they laughed, and she cried. She didn't cry because she was scared, but sometimes her dignity had been taken away. She was sobbing and they were smiling. So this is about free speech, apparently. They must be given free speech because free speech is really important. This isn't free speech, it's hate speech. This is what happens when we teach children to fear what they don't understand instead of teaching them to understand it. And we've been here many times before. They say immigrants are taking over. But the fact is we haven't taken over much. And let me finish with something which is really, really important. Last week, in the midst of this, and we didn't see the story, and some people reported it, The Guardian reported it, a Sikh young girl was raped by 2 white men, and after the rape, they told her to go home. A tragedy for our community, and my heart goes out to her and her family, and all the ones she loved. And actually to all of us, because how can we stand and sit here and say anything? This is what happens when you teach hatred. And we must do something to unteach it. And we must rise up to talk about how this must not happen again. This is very, very important because the past tells us that we must deal with this. Because today, what we sow, we will reap tomorrow.